What's up, everybody? Just going to my hydroponic. I know it look like shit. Well, the past few days, a couple days, I've been sick, so I look like shit because I felt like shit. And I don't know what motivated me to such a degree of making a video, to make a video. But I thought I'd share this with everyone now. Mm. I've been kind of like, let me see, very lax in my performance so far as my duties when it comes to being a magician and all that kind of stuff. And the reasoning for that is, well, the reason for that is other residual effects as well as the main initiatory effect. Initiatory? I don't know. It's not, I don't care. Right. You know what I'm talking about. Whatever initiated everything. So, I should now look that up. Either way. So, back maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, I did a shadow rite to strengthen my shadow aspect on the shadow moon. I don't know if you guys remember that. I'm sure most of you do. With an entity that had a pretty strong shadow aspect as well. And what this did was kick me in the ass. It was my whole world basically got flipped upside down. I got like super depressed to a certain degree. Well, super was the degree, I guess. I got like a depressed, I was thinking all kinds of weird stuff, and um, I ended up falling down a tunnel that I used to indulge in the past, and I hadn't in quite some time. But something that came about because of this was, um, as far as like drinking and stuff like that. So what came about was from all this was I had not realized for myself um, that the shadow, our shadow selves, or my shadow self, was the aspect or part that I was missing in order to connect with, do like cold readings, do readings on people, connect with spiritual when it came to people. I guess their ancestry, or the shadow makes sense. Um, in other aspects of them, like deep into their ancestry, I could see the one guy had a Anubis walking with him, which is pretty interesting. One girl I saw walking down the side of the. I was walking on the sidewalk. I told her, I stopped her to describe some like older Hispanic looking woman to her, what she was wearing and everything. She had one of those Mexican dresses with the flowers, and she was herself um, African American. And then when I explained that to her, I was just telling her, describing the woman to her. She says that's my grandmother, and obviously there's more to it than just other things. I won't go into detail about her family past and all that kind of stuff. But this person, she identified her as a grandmother. And so things like that were just like hitting like a lot. I remember I walked up to a guy and I said, "Hey man, there's like a little boil in your stomach." He said, "Oh yeah, it's because of the miscarriage." Like he knew exactly what I was talking about. I guess the way I said it, I don't know, it just resonated with him at the time. I don't know, but from there I could just do readings like cold, flat. Like I didn't use tarot cards anymore. I don't use tarot cards anymore. I don't do any of that thing, anything to create a connection except for myself. And it was because of the shadow right that this all happened and it was initiated. And I could walk up to people and just basically open up to them and see their ancestors begging me, sometimes begging me to set them in a better direction than what they were in. Sometimes they would listen, sometimes they wouldn't. Sometimes you had to talk to them in a certain kind of way that you normally wouldn't talk to certain people, but you had to because you were doing anything you could to help them get to where they needed to be, um, according to their ancestors. And so, yeah, one lady, another one that was African American, she was, you could tell she was mixed. Her grandmother came through, and she was, I described her grandmother to her, and I guess it has more of a hit whenever you can describe people. They they were of great significance in their past, or at least significance to some degree, and then if they're to send them a message, and then I tell them something, Uh, you know, that I guess that something has a little bit more weight to it. But all these came about because of the shadow rite that I had initiated in the beginning, which I'm gonna work on making one for that I can give for everybody else. And actually, that's probably why I was just told to do it. Um, so I'm going to offer the shadow rite pretty soon, if not very soon. By the time you see this, if you watch my videos still, because I haven't made a video in a long time, and I became, I wasn't making videos at all. Uh, But this one's going to start bringing everything back. I think getting back on my business basically. I lived the life where I needed to live for whatever amount of time for whatever reason, and now I'm going to get back into my work, you know. And so, or should I say, our work? I was just told to say that. And then I also have a something I'm going to introduce to my Patreon. So I have an old Patreon where I kind of just slacked off a lot. I really didn't know what to offer in that Patreon, so I was kind of just mimicking certain other individuals, mimicking aspects of their work, and then doing things like that. Not necessarily doing exactly what they did. I'm just kind of like, okay, well, this guy does that, I can do that, blah blah blah, you know. And so I kind of fell off with that, you know. But what I'm going to be offering from here on out, plus other things, is I'm going to be offering like pathworkings. Pathworkings will be whatever entity calls to you. I'm going to be presenting however many I do, like once a month, maybe once a week, however many there are, and I'm not going to. Um, I don't want to charge a lot for the page, like $10 a month or something like that. I don't know, 10, 20, 15. I don't know. I'll let the spirits let me guide me, because though this information is something that many should have, everybody is going to be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So these path workings aren't going to be just simple little novice things. They're going to be intense for some people, and I don't want just anybody to get their hands on and just fuck themselves up or fuck something else up, you know, or get destroyed, or, digested by the void in some kind of way. But I'm gonna be offering path workings, yeah, sure. And the first one I'm gonna do is gonna be Nyarlothotep. I'm sure everybody pronounces that different. Um, Nyarlothotep comes from the Cthulhu mythos, and very intriguing entity that it's hard to find a lot of information on Nyarlathotep, but besides regurgitated information from different sources. Again, with the meditation, I think when I first started out, uh, the thing that bothered me most was like people would mention about chakras and meditation and stuff like that, and they all would give like a certain synopsis of. It seemed like they all read the same book and they were just copying what they all read from that book, or somebody read the book and then everybody was copying what that person had said. It was all like, again, regurgitated stuff, and it was all just the same thing. Didn't really explain anything. Especially with the chakras. The chakras would say the chakras spinning clockwise. You should work with them that way. But it wouldn't explain like, what do you mean clockwise? Like, if I'm myself clockwise or me facing myself clockwise, looking into myself. So, of course you could do both, but I didn't understand why it would say clockwise, then not explain the rest of it. So it seems to me like they didn't really know what they were talking about, because why would you not add that bit of information if you so decided to add the other information, being that it's clockwise, right? So, anyways, that always made me, I don't want to say upset me, but it was annoying as fuck, because it was just like everybody said the same shit. They had like, and I read a couple of books where I think somebody said that in order for a male to open the third eye, they had to get like fucked in the butthole or something. That was crazy to me. I was like, what? I'm sure there are you out there who have read or come across that book, which I don't remember what book it is, but I remember I saw that and I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, well, I guess I'm never going to see it on my third eye, is basically what I thought to myself. And so, um, which obviously has not been the case, but obviously that's obvious, but sometimes I say stuff. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now, man. And we're gonna kind of just do stuff. I kind of wanted to move forward with a lot of things, but I didn't know what to teach and what not to teach. Some things are pretty, like I said, they're pretty intense, and it's like once you know these kinds of things, it's uh, you could do some real harm or some real good, I guess. And like I'm not here to advocate either, I guess, depending upon your perception of what harm and good are. But I'm also not here to facilitate anybody, some fucking young punk just doing a bunch of dumbass shit, or an old punk doing some dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying? Just because they have this ego that they want to exercise the shit out of, and so or they have this like delusional vengeance they want to um, what thrust onto the human race for whatever reason. So it wasn't just going to be something I just made just for money. You know what I'm saying? I feel that if somebody's ready, they will find it, whether through me or someone else. But I think they should still be ready. You know, I think that's going to be probably close to being it. About 11:44, 11:45. And cool if I was up at 11:13. It's a cool story. When I was younger, I grew up at 1108 West Side Lane, and I used to always go. We used to go skateboarding as young kids, right? And I would cut through the graveyard. I grew up next to a cemetery, so we cut through the cemetery, and there was a house right there, and sometimes they would get mad, sometimes they wouldn't because they'd rent. You know, people would rent there, and it was like a trailer, and we'd go through there, and it was like a little. The fence was torn, depending upon who lived there. So if it was torn and they didn't want us there, they'd kind of make it to where it's a slightly more difficult for us to get through. Us, when I say us, I mean me and the occasional friend. This was kind of a shortcut to where we would go skateboarding uh, for me. So then I would cut through there and I would just, jump over the fence anyway. And so my birthday, my part of my actual birthday is 11/13, right? So being that and it's so close to 11:08, whenever I was on the computer one day, I was just being nostalgic, looking through my old house and everything. And I pulled the wheel back to a certain extent to where it showed 11:13. It's like, what the fuck? And 11:13 has always been like kind of like a good luck number for me, a number of meaning to me, either 11 or 13 or both, right? Like 113, 1113, one, whatever, stuff like that. And so anything that was common had a common, what I'm talking about, similarities, right? And so when I saw the 1113, I was like, what the fuck? And the cool thing is it was actually the address of the place where we used to go with the cemetery is. That fence back there, that's where we used to go in to the cemetery, which was 1113, which was really cool because my birthday is 1113. So I always thought that was pretty, not always, but upon that date forward, I thought that was pretty interesting. And so, yeah, man, hope everybody that was riding with me still riding with me. If not, well, maybe I can get you back. But I plan on just like changing things up. I was trying too hard earlier, I think, before, and shadow self actually really just helped ignite a lot of things in me that um, have assuaged. However, not because of they're less intense, because of, my energy has grown, right? So the very interesting thing is that I'm able to utilize this and give things to you because of this, right? And so here we are, maybe beginning with the this is the gift. For the shadow right, obviously I need to charge. I need money for food and stuff. I've been doing really bad with money lately. Just I've been doing a lot of stuff for free. So I guess not really, really bad. The spirits still take care of me, but I'm doing a lot of stuff for free and are going according to people's budgets. And it seems like they all talk to each other around the world because everybody comes to me. They always say, they tell me they don't have any money. I'm like, well, fuck, all right, well, how much, what's your budget, blah, blah, blah. I need clients with money. And so if I myself can have money. And I know it's an unfortunate thing, but we need money in this world to survive. And again, like my situation hasn't been great. That's cool. I ain't tripping. Uh, just not anymore. Well, I wasn't. Now I'm start tripping a little bit. I need to get paid. So I apologize if that seems sort of non-spiritual to you. But hey, back in the days, they used to accept goats and chickens, right, for their work. So if you have goats and chickens, I will more than happily take your goats and chickens. Uh, Probably the chickens more happily than the goats. Goats are kind of cool. They eat everything. So maybe the chickens. They're easier to catch. I could train boxing according to Rocky. People, I can train them how to do boxing stuff. So chickens preferably, goats second, and then I don't want any pigs. I have, let me see what else. Um, Anything that would translate good into a taco or boxing training. But all right, thanks everybody for watching. If you like this video, share it with your friends. If you hate it, share it with your enemies. Take it easy.